this is Skylar from the Sassy Q, and today I'm going to show you how I create my own designs to make stencils for my silhouette to cut out that I use for my wood signs. So I'm just going to go to my text tool over here and type out whatever it is that I'm wanting to have my design be, and it's going to default to the first font in your list here, which is Arial on my computer. I prefer, when I'm working, to have my stuff be solid black so that way it looks clean, but it can be any color. But then you're going to go over here to your fonts and choose whatever font it is that you want this to be, and let's see, I'm going to do this one. And I like how that looks, but let's see, go back to no border. Whenever you do this, the font has each letter still individual, so you need to make sure that you go over here to your modify and weld all your letters together, so that way anything that's overlapping like that will be one letter or one cut instead of being separate letters, or cutting the overlap there. And then it's going to separate each little piece like this, so if you hit make after that, it'll make it all one cutting piece that you can move around like this. So I have that, and let me zoom back out a little bit. Right now, it's showing that my design's only like 1.5 inches by 6 inches, so we'll pretend that I need it bigger. Once I have it ready to cut, I go over to send it to my silhouette to cut. I always have it on cut, and I use the Oramask 813 stencil vinyl for my stencils when I paint my wood signs. So for my settings, there's not one that's specifically for that. I always go to the vinyl metallic setting, and I have it on the auto blade. I have this set on 1. I usually slow this down to a 3. I just don't like it going too fast, because then sometimes it gets off track, because I usually cut off the mat. And then 4 is 10 and only 1 pass. And whenever I was ready to cut it, I don't have vinyl hooked up in set up inside of it right now, but I would hit send and it would cut. And so, I mean, that's very, very simple to do. If it was something that you were just designing to save later and not cut right this second, you can go over here. I always save as. I save everything to my hard drive, just because I don't like having to rely on the library. Probably a bad idea, because I mean, my computer could crash at any time, but I always save to my hard drive. Save in whatever folder it is you're going to be saving in. And even me, I don't know if it would let me do that because of the plus thing with me. Now, you can save it as a studio design, an SVG, a PDF, or a JPEG. If you're going to be leaving it in the Silhouette Studio, you can just save it as the studio file, which is what I normally do. But if you're going to need to export it to anything else, or if you sell on Etsy and want to save it as an SVG, you can choose any of those file types. But I always save it as a studio file. But that is the simple way to create your own designs. If you're doing some that are going to be like different fonts, which I do a lot of, sometimes I do it differently. Sometimes I do it all as one piece instead of doing a second text box, but sometimes I do it like this. Let me make both these black. I have a problem. I like them all to be black. Let's see. I play around with fonts a lot. And sometimes I sit and try 100 different ones, but this is one of my current favorites right now. I don't really like that and. Let's see. If you use the same fonts a lot, you tend to use the same ones over and over. And like, let's see. I think I like the other font better, honestly. I'm just hitting undo a couple times because I want this one back. Okay. So since I don't like how big this one is, I'm going to change the font size of just that letter or that character, make it a little bit smaller, and I do like that better. If you have like this, I have two lines here and I want them to be centered up. I've clicked this design or this piece, and you can hit shift and click, or you can just highlight like that and go up here to this and you can center it, and it will center them together, so you don't have to sit there and try to center it by eye or anything like that. It's a super quick little tool. And like this font can't be bolded, and I kind of wish it was a little bit thicker in comparison to this. I am going to make it just a tiny bit bigger. Oops. There we go. Just center them back up. You can go over here. Where is it? Offset. I have to think about it for a minute. And I have this sign clicked. You can click offset, and this is going to create a border around your letters. I'm going to, I don't want to get it too big. I'm trying to get just a little bit thicker. And I can't keep my hand still long enough to get it where I want it. Right there, I think would be good. Alright, I'm going to fill it with a different color just so I can see what I'm doing. Oops. Let me see if... No, that was way too thick. Fill in all my letters. Let's say some fonts you can do, just hit bold and it'll bold it for you, even if there isn't a bold option normally on that font. That might be better. I think it's still going to be too thick. I may have just wasted everybody's time. Oops. Just go to this. Okay. Alright, that's been centered back up. There we go. So I've done that, you know, for two different fonts. To make it stay, go back over here to your modify panel again. You would welds all your letters together, and then hit make, and you have that design. It's super, super simple. And so, whenever you go to cut, it's not going to matter what color any of it is, because like that automatically popped up to cut edge. I always do cut. So I mean, it doesn't matter if it's black or if it's, you know, transparent in the middle. It all will go to the same mat and cut for you. Where Cricut separates all the different colors to individual mats automatically. So I mean, that is a difference if you've ever used either machine. Trying to think of anything else to quickly show you. Sometimes if my designs are much longer than the mat is wide, like this, you can change the size of your mat. Like right now it's 12 by just a little over 12. You can change the length of your mat all the way up to 120 inches, which is I think 10 feet. So, oops, getting a little crazy there. So you can change the length of your mat and rotate your image to make it fit, which is what I normally do. I try to not waste vinyl, especially since I cut off the mat. I just have a vinyl roll feeder that feeds my vinyl right into the machine. So I don't have like little pieces that I've cut off specifically for a design usually. So I try to get as many on the mat as I can. So if I was cutting all of these, I'd rotate them. Get them to fit on there however long. Since I do cut off the mat, I do have the cutting mat set to 9. You can add like a cutting mat on here if you're cutting on the mat, but I prefer to have it off the mat because it's just easier for me to not have to worry about the size of my mat. And that is one thing that my Cricut I absolutely hated, it limiting the size of your cutting area to just the 11.5 by 23.5. It did make it very difficult since I make several larger signs that would go over that 23.5 length. But in the silhouette allow you to cut those long pieces. So anything with a carrier sheet or like a backing, you can cut off the mat. Like HTV or adhesive vinyl, the stencil vinyl, any of that kind of stuff. And so, but I can't think of anything else that I use often that would be helpful. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And you can also find my DIY sign making group on Facebook. I'll have the link below in the description. And thank you for watching.